going on, man?
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired. I ain't gonna hold you.
Nah, I feel you, though. I already know, man. But we tired.
So, finally coming to the end.
Yeah.
So I get a day off, and then we go overseas.
Overseas? Where y'all going?
We're going to Romania and Slovakia.
Okay.
Yeah, we got 2 festivals out there, so work don't stop.
Don't stop at all.
Don't stop, bro.
And I mean, let's get into like how all of this started. Like, talk more about like your background, where you grew up, how you got into music.
Okay. Well, born and raised in Southside Jamaica, Queens, New York. That's how me and Curtis 50 Jackson are friends. We're childhood friends. So born in Queens, New York. Been out there since by age 20. Then went to the military. That's where I met Dante's mom.
Okay.
And that's what made me move to Texas. So, that's a lot of people always ask me, how did I wind up in Texas, being from New York, Southside, Jamaica, Queens at that. I moved out there to be closer to my son.
Gotcha.
So, music-wise, when I got to Texas, I've always, loved music. I've always been a lover of music, but I was never a DJ. I was never an MC, none of that. When I got to Texas is when I started, being a brand ambassador for a couple of liquor companies and being an MC at clubs. And from that point on, it kind of just took off. People liked the way I just had the cadence in the club. I get people drunk, get them hype, all that good stuff. So ultimately, I became a true MC. And then one day, a radio personality in the market in Texas said, "You need to be on radio." And I was like, "No, that ain't my forte." I was still in corporate America. And she's like, "Nah, you need to be in radio." So they had a big contest in Dallas to be the next on-air personality for the morning show. And I won. And that's how my radio career started. I didn't go the traditional way. I didn't go to school for none of that. It was like, God sets a plan in play for you, and you never know what the plan is or the design. But then as you start to execute it and follow it, it just falls into place. So I fell into radio. It was all a blessing. I left corporate America making a boatload of money to go to radio to make no money. But I believed in my hustle, I believed in my drive, and I believe that this is what my calling was. So, and I've always been an advocate of being a person for the people, being a person that wants to give back, and being a voice to the people. Coming from the trenches, coming out the mud, I can relate to all communities. So radio for me was kind of a platform to be able to touch the people and embrace the people and let them embrace me. From that point on, being an MC and hosting parties, I noticed there was with DJs, some of the limitations I saw was if I asked them for the new Beyonce record, right, and they ain't got it, I'm looking at them like, you ain't got it?
You ain't got it.
So it became too often of a thing where I would ask the DJ to play this record, play that record, drop that record, to try to keep the crowd going a certain kind of way. And if they didn't have it, I was like, oh, okay, I see a lane that I need to get, and I wanted complete control of the party. I wanted to, from start to finish, I wanted to be able to command the crowd and take it from here to here on any level. So at that point, I said, let me take a brief hiatus from being an MC and let me teach myself how to DJ. And I self-taught myself. I went and got equipment. I grabbed some, I talked to some key guys in the industry, the DJ Kid Capri's, the guys out of Dallas like the Steve Nices. So just some legendary DJs that I respect, that understand the game. And I didn't want to come in and be a push-button DJ. I wanted to come in and learn the art form of being a DJ. So I went and got Technique 1200s. I got a mixer, and I went in the lab and self-taught myself for like 6 months. And was just in there just working on different things and routines and etc. And then about 6 months later, I came out and debuted in Dallas, and I was trash. as Bubba Dub would say, trash. So I went back in the lab and said, you know what, let me do another 3 months to get myself in order. It took me another 3 months to get myself in order, and then I came back out, and the rest is history. So that's that. 2007 time frame was kind of my time when I took off as DJ Kayotik. That was kind of the birth of DJ Kayotik, and it's been kind of sky's the limit from there. I left one radio station and transitioned to another radio station, got my own show, then started doing morning show.
Was this all in Dallas?
All in Dallas.
Wow.
Yeah, so my entire radio career is all Dallas. So I've been blessed to, be on 2 number 1 stations. I've been blessed to be on 3 morning shows. I've had my own morning show. So it's been a beautiful ride and a beautiful journey in my radio career. Now fast forward, as I said, I was doing the radio thing, and then about 2018 time frame, I bumped into my childhood friend, Fifth, and we just chopping it up. We was actually in Chicago. I was out there for a boot camp for a morning show. And he's like, what you doing now? I was like, radio. He's like, you a DJ? He's like, you must be good. I'm like, yeah, I'm a DJ, bro. He's like, really? So he brought me on to do the brand ambassador for Branson Cognac.
Okay.
And Le Chemin de Bois Champagne. So I was doing that for the first year. And then COVID hit. So COVID hit, and we was just I was at home online, just promoting, mixing live on MySpace. I mean, not MySpace, Instagram and
Social
Facebook and all that stuff. Yeah, just doing that until COVID was done with. And then about a year ago, year and a half ago, around this time frame, I get the call. He fired his DJ that he was with for 10 years.
Dang.
And reached up and said, yo, get on tour. So last year around this time, I jumped on tour. I missed the first month and a half, and jumped on tour. And a kid from Southside Jamaica, Queens, that I ain't been many places, Jamaica, Cancun. So I ain't seen the world, and now I got more stamps on my passport than I can even imagine. So it's been a beautiful journey. And it's been a climb, an uphill battle, but now I'm just embracing it all. I tell people all the time, 10 years ago, if I would have got the blessings I'm getting now, I probably wouldn't have been able to embrace them the way I do. I would have been the arrogant New York nigga that I am, versus being the humble guy that I am now. So, and as you know, I've gone through a lot of things personally that has changed me and changed the directory of how I move and how I operate. And I'm just a very humble spirit. So, as you know, my son, DJ Kid, Dante, I lost him at age 18, 9 years ago. And that was my inspiration and motivation, and still is. He was supposed to take over for me. I was going to retire from DJing. I was done with DJing. I was going to just focus on radio and not do no clubs. We talked about it often. He was going to come take the club that I had in Dallas. And, obviously that didn't happen. So the only reason why I'm still DJing to this day is because of him. And even when I got on tour, I tell people all the time, when I touch that stage, it's me in the physical, but in the spirit, it's him. He was on tour, and he's been doing this tour. So it's been a beautiful thing, and I'm just living out his dreams, day by day. So, that's a quick spill of my story, and it's still going on. I'm writing a book now that I've been working on and contemplating on putting out for over about 3-4 years now, and it's finally coming to fruition. I got it. It's in the works. It's going to drop next year. I'm excited about that.
What is it about?
My life story.
Okay.
My life story, and it starts off with losing Dante. So it's really the way it's being written is written like a movie. So I'm not going to give too much. It's definitely written like a movie where I feel like. A lot of people know me. Obviously, I have a nonprofit organization, the Kayotik Foundation, and a lot of the events that I do are based upon turning my pain into purpose. So obviously, losing my son broke me. I've gone through depression. I've gone through every kind of thing you could think about emotionally. I've gone through it, and the only way I've gotten through it is God. So and that's my testimony. And for me, it's like being a walking testimony of showing people, no matter how many things are thrown at you, no matter how many times somebody tell you can go left, you can figure out a way to go right and continue to believe in yourself and trust him.
What does those practical steps look like whenever you say believe in God, like it was all God that helped you heal throughout that process?
Still healing. Yeah.
Still healing throughout that process. What does that look like for the people that's listening and they're going through something as well, but they probably don't know those practical steps to grow that relationship?
Honestly, it's faith. It's trust and faith, and once you give it all to him and understand that you're not in control of anything, is when you come into realization of, okay, he woke me up today, what's my assignment? And that's the space I'm in now. It's like every day I wake up, it's like, what's my assignment? There was a point in time where I got up and I thought I was doing everything. Kayotik thought he was getting that bag. Every opportunity, it was me. And when he crumbles you and humbles you, you realize it's not you at all. From the moment you get up, from the moment you brush your teeth, from the moment you're able to eat, from the moment you're able to get into your car, that's all God. That ain't you. You just executing whatever plan he sets forth for you. So that's the space that I'm in, and it took me a while to get there. And I've always been, a God-fearing man. But, even my pastor, when it all happened, and like I said, I was crumbled. He said God broke you to bring you closer to him. Dante's job was already done. He touched the people that he needed to touch, and it's evident. When I go to East Texas, my son's a legend.
Yeah, he is.
He's a legend. So even people in Dallas that I didn't even know he was interacting with was like, yo, that's your son. I'm like, yeah. So he did his assignment. So for me, it's like, while I'm still here, what am I going to do with it? First of all, I'm going to make sure that everybody knows his name until I don't have no breath in my lungs. But everything that I do with my philanthropy work and just touching community, it's on his behalf. I need people to know who my son is, not was, is, and what he represents and why I am who I am. I do it for him, my wife, my kids. That's my motivation. That keeps me going. So, and that's one of the things where when I sit down with Fifth, that's one of the reasons why he brought me on into the fold, because I bring a level of spirituality and just positivity that sometimes in this industry is missing. You know, if you look at my posts on my social media, I'm always putting some motivational inspiration, you know, because, you know, social media could be a platform where the devil's doing a lot of busy work.
Real talk.
And I'm a true believer the enemy is constantly busy, but God is always going to be busier. So, you know, even when you're dangling in this worldly world, you got to stay grounded and stay humble. And that's where I'm at with it. Just staying grounded and staying humble.
And man, you had a lot of great key points when you was talking about your backstory. You said it was a lady, she basically pointed you out. She's seen something within you. Like, can you talk about how important it is to like have those people around you, or just be in those environments where people see more of you than you see of yourself, especially as a youngin'?
I mean, somebody's always going to be able to see more in you than you see in yourself. I mean, even, you know, 50, he sees more in me than I probably saw in myself. He caught me at the right moment. You know, again, I've been struggling with depression for 9 years, but still able to just keep it going. But being around him, going on that tour for 5 months, it changed my mindset. You know, it got me more focused. It got me health conscious. I'm in the gym. It turned me into a machine. The machine that I used to be when Dante was here, I lost that. And it takes a person that sees it in you to say, I'm gonna pull you up and uplift you and put you in a space that you may not be prepared for. But for me, I was prepared for the blessing. You know, and I tell people all the time, be prepared for your blessings.
Straight up.
You know, you can ask for all the things in the world, but if you're not prepared for it, it's gonna consume you and overwhelm you. For me, the blessing I'm sitting in now, I'm prepared for it. I've been prepared for it, so I'm thankful for it. And like I said, I embrace it differently. Like I said, 10 years ago, I'd be running around like, yo, I'm Kayotik, I'm 50's DJ, now what?
Yeah.
Now I just walk around very humble, like, I'm Kareem Thompson first and foremost, then Kayotik. And then Kayotik is, you know, is my nonprofit organization, and that's an acronym. So if people always ask why you spell it that way, Kayotik, it's Kareem's Alternative Youth Options to Improve Kids. So I was that kid that, you know, I've been homeless, you know, I've been hungry. I've had, you know, 1 hour going to school. You know, I've been that kid that went to school with no haircut. So when I do my back to school events or turkey giveaways, I can relate to what people are going through. And when I'm at these events, you know, I can share my story and share my testimony, and they embrace me even more. It's like, oh, you're not just a celebrity DJ or radio personality that's giving back to the community. You are the community. You know, I'm that kid. So, you know, like we just did our back to school event was phenomenal. 300 backpacks. Haircuts for the boys.
Where was this at?
In Dallas.
In Dallas?
Yeah, I'm actually getting ready. Next year, we're going to expand my nonprofit to do more things in Shreveport as well.
Okay.
So we're excited about that. But just be able to get back and touch these kids and pause and get them in the mindset of staying focused on school and obedience to their parents and the principles of life. You know, because if we allow these babies to get raised by TikTok and social media, we're in trouble.
Right.
So I try to instill in them, you know, to stay focused, stay the course, and just instead of, you know, going left, stay right. You know, I was that kid that could have always been left. I could have been a hustler. I could have been drugged. I could have been all the things that you can expect being from Queens, New York. But I chose to go right, even in my most darkest moments. So even fast forward now, you know, in my most darkest moments, I'm in a space now where I just trust God, you know, and I still have my dark days. And those are days when I pray even harder. You know, I have days when I'm attacked. You know, the more success you get, the more attacks. The enemy gets busier and tries to attack you. And if he can't get you directly, he'll come through your circle. So I'm mindful of who's in my circle, then more importantly, making sure they stay prayed up. So, you know, my thing is now is just protecting my energy, staying humble, staying focused, and trusting God in everything that I do.
And that's very important, especially like as you're on that success journey. How do you keep, like, it ain't no balance, but how do you keep like your personal and your business, like keep it both working? That's very difficult.
It's challenging, but you know, for me, I think people can recognize I'm a family man. First and foremost, God. Second is family, and then everything else kind of falls into place. You know, I will never allow the business to consume me the way it did in the past. You know, I can reflect and say there's times that I missed out on spending with my son because I was chasing that bag. There was times that, you know, I could have went to football games and baseball games, but I was trying to get that bag. And now, you know, what's important to me is waking up and giving God all the glory, and then more importantly, making sure I have time for my wife, making sure I have time for my kids, not missing those school events, not missing those plays. I got a daughter that's a cheerleader, I got a daughter that's an actress. So So it's like I gotta be in their life, and I'm raising 2 little girls, you know, and you know, through trial and error, I'm realizing how important it is for a father to be in their daughters' lives. So for me, you know, obviously I gotta balance the scheduling wise, and my schedule's chaotic, no pun intended. But I find a way to balance it out. But when the boys are too, when people look at me, they see family first. They see God first, and they see family first, and then everything else. You know, all the stages, all that's all fine and dandy. But when it boils down to it, my family and God is what's most important, because that's my driving force. You're not gonna get chaotic on no stage if I don't have that foundation in place. That's my foundation. That keeps me grounded. You know, they keep me humble. When my wife walks around here now and people want to take pictures and stuff like that, she's like, "You ain't nothing but Kareem Thompson." I'm like, I know. Appreciate you, baby.
I kind of picked up on that vibe too yesterday. Man, crazy. It was yesterday, like we was just at the same brunch spot.
Yeah.
And the DJ called out your name. I was like, where?
Yeah.
And then I seen you, and that's when I walked up on you, and I was like, man, it's crazy how God, now you can tell her, I was like, God is amazing, like, to be able to put us in the both, like, same location.
Yeah, but we was going to link up anyway.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, so I'm thankful for it, though, man.
Yeah.
And you know Brad and stuff like that, so you get it. And I got nothing but love for East Texas. That's my second or third home, so, you know, I'm just thankful. Like I said, my brother, it's like, you know, you go through this journey in life, and you pull and climb, and now for me it's like I'm embracing the success, but humbly embracing it, you know, and trying to instill it into others, and staying focused on, you know, just that foundation and the principles of life, and just follow the course.
So when it's all said and done, man, what do you want your legacy to be like?
My legacy, turning my pain into purpose. That's my legacy. I'm turning my pain into purpose every day. It's a new chapter of just how do I turn this pain into purpose. You know, like I said, I'm still healing, and I don't expect to ever heal. But while I'm here, you're going to know who Dante Aki Thompson is, a.k.a. DJ Kid. You're going to know who his father is, and you're going to see the work that we're doing. And I'm doing it on his behalf. So that's my legacy, you know, instilling the principles of life in the people, family, foundation, God, and understanding, you know, no matter what field you're in, entertainment, lawyer, doctor, approach it with the mindset of understanding that you're not in control, he is. And if you operate in that space, things will fall into place. Your blessings will continue to just go. And that's where I'm at with it. My blessings are not stopping right now. The enemy's busy, but the blessings don't stop. And when the enemy gets busy, I just pray more. Yeah. Like I said, I'm going, you know, you're talking about a kid that went from just being in Dallas, from New York, being in Dallas, touching a few countries here and there, to I went over 30 countries in the last 6 months. 30 that I've never seen before. Some I can't pronounce.
That's a lot.
Yeah, and more to come. So it's like you can't write this book. It's like, you know, and the final chapter of my book is called the Final Lap from the tour. So I'm excited about it. That's all I'm gonna give you about the book.
I was gonna say, man, if what you're talking about is gonna be in the book, it's definitely gonna be a great book.
I think people will be truly surprised about my life story. I'm hoping it's going to engage the audience, and you know, everybody has that testimony, everybody has that struggle, and I'm in a space now to where I can be very transparent to share it, and let people know there's people like me, there's people that may have lost their child, there's maybe people that's been homeless, people that's been struggled, people that's had parents that have been, you know, under the drug addiction, all those different things. People experience that, and I'm bringing it to the forefront. And most people won't expect to hear that from me, because they expect, oh, his life is just hunky-dory. Nah, I got it out the mud. So I want to share the mud so they can see, here's my testimony, and I'm still standing proudly. I'm still walking proudly, walking by faith. So, and that's, you know, that's going to be the ending point of the book. Like, continue to walk by faith, continue to trust, because I am. If I can do it, you can. Because I feel like there's people out here, you know, that give up. People out here that want to commit suicide. All those different intangibles. I'm all about mental health, you know. And as I struggle with it on my own, you know, I understand how people can just say, I give up. I can understand how people say, I'm just going to become addicted to drugs. I understand it. I get it. Because I could have been that person. But my will to trust him, my will to believe in him, and understand that I'm being led by a higher source has allowed me not to go down that path. Even though I wanted to give up. There's plenty of times I wanted to give up. So, like I said, I'm just thankful, humble, excited for what's to come, but just embracing it as it comes along. So, and just staying healthy. You know, I'm in the gym just trying to keep that's how I keep my mind sane. I got to go to that gym and work out, and health is wealth.
You gotta be in there. Huh?
Yeah.
Well, man, I appreciate it, man. I know you definitely pressed on time, and like, it's a blessing, bro, to sit here
bro.
with you.
Thank
bro.
you, my brother. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Straight up.
All right.
Straight up. Thank you, bro.
Look out, family.